All I know is like it puts a lot of images in my head, and it's super catchy at the same time.
I will say without a doubt. Do you know Kids Bop? You guys have that in the UK.
No, what's that?
Kids, so Kids Bop with Z's KIDZ BOP
Yeah.
is it's like kids doing covers of pop songs,
Okay,
like
okay,
very
that
high
sounds great.
nasally. Yeah, I can say that stuff. I'm gonna say it on record, Paul. That shit is bad. I'm gonna say it. I don't care who knows. Kids Bop. Kids Bop is not good. Kids should not be listening to that. I'm gonna go to Congress. I'm gonna go to Parliament. I'm gonna tell fucking everybody that Kids
Mhm.
Bop should be outlawed.
I bet
It's
it's
not
entertaining
good.
though, right? You made me. You
Yeah.
made me want to check it out. I'm gonna check it out.
Kids Bop.
When the last Danny Brown record actually did with Danny, there's a song called Today that Danny, I was so chuffed that Danny got a kids choir to record the chorus. I mean, it's hilarious, right? I mean, the whole album's about drug come downs and very, very
Yeah.
dark places, and he's just got
Today.
these kids just singing today, today, today.
Oh
It was
yeah,
just,
that
like,
one. Yeah.
insane, you know. And it's actually really nice because like somehow we found each other on Instagram. Oh, I think the woman who ran the choir, you know, obviously put it up like, oh look, the kids group is on, you know, Danny Brown album, which is again quite hilarious.
Wow.
You know, and then I was produced by Paul White, and like, yeah, we still follow each other, and I like their posts, and I'm just like, oh yeah, it's nice. Go Kids Choir.
Have y'all met in person, or is it all digital, like sending files back and forth? I know that that's how a lot of
We've-
artists like collaborate.
Yeah, Danny's been all over the internet. We got in the studio once together, and he recorded some vocals, and we exchanged very, very, very few words, which is better. I like it that way. You know, we can stay mysterious to each other. I don't want to start talking about breakfast with him, and you know, this is like, let's just keep it purely magical and mystical. You know. So, in fact, we got high as a kite, obviously, once together. I don't know, you know, yeah, before a show
What was
of his.
the song that you were recording?
We recorded like 6 vocals for the last album together. I can't remember exactly what ones, but I was immensely impressed. I mean, it was crazy. I mean, we're, you know, it was like 12 o'clock, midday starts, and my manager was just like, you know, these guys are all over from America, let's make sure we're on time, you know, like really, really punctual. Got there, and he's already there already, you know. And this is like one of the first, I think it's like, the first time we've like met other than like backstage at a show, you know, when everyone's just trashed and high as a kite, you know. So I was like, damn, this is impressive already, you know. I think it's interesting how, you know, people might look at someone like Danny and just be like, oh, he just gets high and just, you know, just a fuckhead, just gets, you know. No, he's a professional, you know. It's just like, you know, of course you don't get to that point without being a professional, you know what I mean? He was on time, he was like early, he was going in the booth recording songs with like 1 and 2 takes. I was so impressed. I was like, dude, this is impressive. I mean, we did like, you know, 6 songs in 2 days. He was just like, man, I never get in the booth until I've recorded it like 4 or 5 times at home already, and I know it's tight. And I was just like, yeah, there you go, you know. Blows away any miss of him just turning up drunk. You know, it's because we think about creative people like that sometimes, don't we? You know, the guy works hard. You know, again, you know, people don't realize that. You know, it's people who think, oh, people are just kind of born talented. Sure, people are born with certain more talents than others or whatever, you know, maybe in certain ways, but no, you hone it, you know. And I wish people realize that more, because then people would realize that they have the opportunity to do what they want to do, you know. You just got to
that stuff
grind.
that you don't. That's the stuff you don't see on. You don't see it on an album. If I look at an album by Danny Brown, Chaucer Exhibition, I look at Downward Spiral.
Yeah.
It's a 2 minutes 52 seconds, and I think one of the errors on. I mean, everyone commits these. I committed as well, where I listen to a song. I love the song. I can even think about the lyrics. I can even think about the imagery that comes from it. But rarely do we think about. I think it would be really interesting to see a song like that and know. Of course, it's hard to quantify these things, because I think it takes a whole lifetime to make whatever it is you made, whatever song you recorded yesterday. It took your whole life to get to that point.
Sure.
So
your whole life's in it. Somehow.
Yeah. So to have, this would be impossible. But to have a song that's like 31 years and then 2 minutes and 52 seconds.
Yeah, sure.
That would sort of hammer home, I think, what it what it takes. But I don't think everyone
Sure,
is
I know what
actually
you mean.
even interested in what it takes to make it. They just want to consume the thing. But
Sure.
I like that background stuff. I like knowing
Me too.
about the Rejuvenate. I like knowing these stories because that brings me closer to the music. It brings me closer to your story, and
Sure.
it imbues these songs with something more.
Yeah, sure. I'm the same. I mean, I always want to research tons and tons of people, and that's where I've learned the most as well. And that's, almost been the most encouraging thing. You're like, oh, cool, they're human.
They're
Oh
human.
yeah, they're human. It's not some super being. It's like I try and tell people that all the time. It's just like I'm really nothing special. Like everyone's capable of it. It's got it's marketing tools. You create a brand and a product around someone. You create this whole mystical idea. And really they're at home. Brushing their teeth, having herbal teas, and going to bed at like 10 o'clock. Or something. It's interesting, but then you need the magic and the mysticalness as well. That's fascinating.
But I don't think. I think the age of the Prince. I think princes are. I don't think we're ever gonna have that again. We're never gonna have that person who's. It's like they're in a damn mountain, and it's like you can't. Like you never see them except for when they're performing. You never hear from them. There's no like.
No, that's never gonna happen, is it? Instagram.
Yeah.
Everything else, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's a good and a bad thing. I mean, I can complain about it all I want. Like the mysticalness of it all, but people I like, I know I'm gonna want to see as much as I can. About them, or about their creativity and about their personality, I suppose, as well.
But again, it's with the balance. It's a limit, and I think there's sometimes a tendency with artists now to be like, I got to share every part of the process. No, you don't. You don't have to share all of it, and you don't like. It's up to you. It's that balance, and I think everyone has a different, and that is the beauty of it, is finding out what your balance is. Sure. And I think even the process of finding out your balance is worth talking about, and I think that is worth documenting.
Sure.
As long as it as long as it feels authentic. I think authenticity is the most important thing. Yeah. It's like, is it you at the end of the day?
True.
That's because you only have the answer to yourself for a lot of this stuff. It's like, because if it's real, and you're gonna respect yourself more if it is real.
Yeah, for sure.
If that makes sense.
It does. Yeah. No,
okay.
It does.